The Cheeseboy628 Show, starring Cheeseboy628.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy628 here today, giving you a UU tier Wi-Fi battle, and this is versus my buddy Enestor, Enestor27 if you will, and I will put his link in the description. He is an awesome YouTuber. Please, oh please, check him out. Now getting right into the team preview, I have a Life Orb Alakazam, a Sashed Shell Smash Cloyster, a Specially Defensive Assault Vest Goodra, a Banded Infernape Physical Defensive Donphan, and Specially Defensive Trevenant. Now I had this battle slightly before I had my battle from last week, which is where I had a Mega Absol instead of Trevenant, and in my opinion is probably the better deal, especially in this scenario, because his defensive core, especially defensive Porygon 2 and physical defensive Slowbro or so, I think is definitely going to be weak to a hard-hitting stab knockoff from Mega Absol. I'm not going to have to deal without it, but looking at his team, his only Mega possibility could be Absol because Mega Alakazam is banned in this tier, and from there I shouldn't be too worried as I think Shell Smash Cloyster has a pretty good chance when Slowbro is low. So with that said, let's see how this battle goes. So I'm going to start with my Donphan so I can get out my rocks as soon as possible as he starts out with his Porygon 2. Now Porygon 2 usually does have Ice Beam and that will hurt a decent amount, but I don't think it hits hard enough to bring me down to my Sturdy, but even if he does, I do have Sturdy intact. So I'm able to get my rocks, and his team doesn't really appreciate rocks, so it's definitely nice on my part because he also doesn't have a spinner or a defogger. And now we can go into Alakazam and eat up this Ice Beam as I do have nice natural special defense. And I do not have a Sash, I do have a Life Orb, so that's why I brought it in. So it really wasn't too risky unless he froze me there. But yeah, this Ice Beam isn't going to do too much, and I go for a Focus Blast that hits him pretty darn hard. It looks like a pretty solid 2-hit KO. But here I'm pretty sure that he's going to switch out, but I didn't think he'd go into his Slowbro. So I'm going to have to go for the Psyshock here just to mix it up a little bit in case he wanted to switch out. Plus I know he's special defensive, so I want to know how much a Psyshock did to the Porygon 2. But since he switched out to Slowbro, and then I do have the Shadow Ball, he gets me to reveal it right here as he brings in Flareon to scout for it. Now he takes rocks damage and the Shadow Ball, and he doesn't seem to have a Toxic Orb, so I'm not sure what kind of Flareon this is, but I'm going to bring in my Donphan because I think I can take a Flare Blitz. But he gets a crit, and that's pretty crucial because at this range I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to take a second Flare Blitz, so I'm going to hopefully live it here. Can I do a Donphan? Please, please, please? No. So that's not good for my Donphan. That's my physical wall gone, but this Flareon can't switch out because it's going to die from rocks. So I'm just going to go to my Goodra. I do naturally outspeed unless he has speed investment. So he goes for the quick attack just to get a little bit of chip damage in. So I'm able to go for the Sludge Bomb here, and I'm able to just take him out. In the case that he wanted to switch this out, save this for death fodder, and I could just get some nice poison on something. Now he brings in Absol, and I don't have too much to switch in as my Donphan is gone. So I'm really just going to sack my Trevenant here. I don't know if my Goodra can really take a hit too well, and I definitely don't think since I'm specially defensive that Dragon Pulse is going to kill. As I mentioned in the battle I uploaded a week ago, the problem with my Goodra is that I'm fully special defensive. I'm not modest max special attack, so if you do have a modest max special attack, max HP Goodra, that would be so very much appreciated. Just add me on Twitter, Skype me, just comment, I don't care. Just, I would really appreciate it, thank you so much. But now, I'm able to bring in my Infernape. I am banded, I'm bluffing that I'm Scarfed right now, and I'm bluffing that I'm going for close combat, so I just U-turn so I can get off some damage. Now, this is the hugest play of the game. I was thinking he's going to switch out to Porygon 2 to eat this up, or something of the sort, so I go for Focus Blast, and he goes for Scald, and he stays in when the Shadow Ball was so obvious. He also could have went to Absol there, so that's why it was just a very iffy play on what I was supposed to go for there. But this Slowbro is a huge factor in this game, so I was so stunned that he would leave this in the fact that this was practically his win condition, and you'll see why later. But as I bring in my Infernape to go for the U-turn to hopefully finish him off, he does switch out to his Duckalepsy, his Porygon 2 here, just his fodder, as I'm going to be able to go into Goodra, and unless he has speed investment, I'm going to be able to outspeed him here. So I'm going to take him out with the Dragon Pulse, and that's GG for Porygon. Now the problem is I already sacked off my Trevenant, and now he goes back to Absol so he can get a free knockoff on anything, and I don't have a switch in. I basically have to sack off my Goodra, who actually lives this hit. So he's at -1 speed now, and so I'm able to go for the Dragon Pulse and almost take him out, but he's still going to outspeed because Absol's pretty darn fast and he's probably max speed of course, so I am going to go down, but he's at -2 speed, which means I can definitely go into Infernape and definitely outspeed now, so he is going to go for the Sucker Punch to get off a bit of of damage, which does do a significant chunk. I'm just going to go for the U-turn in case that I could get some momentum from this play, but that's not the case. He just fodders off Absol to be the good play. But now I can go into Cloister here, as he still doesn't have Rocks up, he doesn't have Sticky Web. I can set up a Shell Smash here. Now unless Jolteon's Scarf, which is extremely rare, I'm going to be able to outspeed him after this Shell Smash, especially since I'm Jolly. So I'm going to go for the Shell Smash, and now I am pretty much set to sweep, hopefully. So I'm going to be able to go for the Icicle Spear here, and it's going to take, what, 2.5 hits to take out this Jolteon? Not even. So, basically the situation is he probably has the Sash Alakazam and the Slowbro. If I get some higher rolls than Nestor said, then I would be able to take out this Slowbro because I'm only Jolly. So I'm going to go for a couple Rock Blasts. That's 3, 4... Oh my gosh, look how close that was. So I got a couple of higher rolls there, but in the end I just did not get the rolls I needed to take him out. So because of that, all I have left is my Infernape, and he still doesn't know if I'm Scarfed or Banded, but here I can just press U-turn. It's the hardest hitting move I have to hit both his Slowbro and his Alakazam, and the fact is, since I'm not Scarfed, I'm not going to outspeed his Alakazam anyway, so you can just go for the Psychic and that can take me out. So I could have killed off that Slowbro if I had some higher damage rolls with the Cloister, and then I would have been able to take out Alakazam, but because of that, Slowbro was able to be total clutch for Nestor. So yeah, that was a pretty good game, and Nestor definitely want to battle you again sometime. And with that said, guys, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, sub, and until later, peace.